Hey guys, it's Lucid. Welcome back. I got another turn for us here. So, um, this is a turn where Midgard finally takes this little province, and he had forgotten that I had signed this over to him as part of our border agreement, and that's why he hadn't taken it. But now he has, and this is Maryland playing Maryland and Venisar playing the elves, the dirty, dirty, pointy-eared bastards, who we were friends with. And yeah, they have a kind of cool bless. It's attack 2, magic weapons, decay weapons. This actually is in some ways kind of nice on elves because they don't hit terribly hard and they have a hoof attack. And so anyway, if they're fighting like an SC or something, then the hoof attack has a chance to proc decay weapons. It does have to actually do some damage, which the hoof attack won't do a ton of times, but you know, anyway. You can get dudes decayed. And in a long fight, even if these guys lose, there's a good chance they'll cause a bit more attrition. It's definitely worth something. I think he mostly got this just for magic path access. And then shock resistance. Though, I will say personally, I think it's probably better to just get Stygian Skin. Especially if you're not on a nation with like super easy nature or something to do protection. I think these guys get some earth, but it's so you know they could do Iron Warriors or Stone Skin or stuff, but not on their thugs. So like thugs light rating, having some invulnerability will probably be helpful. Anyway, my opinion, but I think he mostly did it for the magic paths. And this is doing what I suggested would cost more. So there you go. Shock resistance 10, cold resistance 10, blood surge enlarger. What's notable about this is he's basically going to be getting a pretty big repel. It's going to be, so he's larger, so he's getting bonus 3 to strength. And then he's also got... Oh, no, he doesn't have any bonus strength in and of itself. But he's got the bonus 2 attack. Once Blood Surge activates, which these are going to be pretty hard lance charges. Like, yeah, this is going to hurt a lot of things. Once Blood Surge activates, then he's going to be at a casual 17 attack and 20 damage. Well, not for the lance, but... Oh, yeah, no, that'll be for the lance. The lance doesn't go away. It just uses up its charge bonus. So, yeah. Anyway, because it's linked 4, this 17 attack thing will repel pretty well. What's interesting, and I didn't actually know this, is that repel and defense are going to draw upon the same harass pool. So, as these guys get harassed down, the repel stops kind of working. But while they're not harassed... You know, those first couple strikes, like especially if they're in a line, are even less likely to land. So, kind of a cool build. I like it. It's got, some good there's a ton of cold nations, so it's smart he took cold resistance, especially in case he was next to like Vedihheim or something. And then shock resistance is great for an air nation in the late game. So, cool bless, cool build. We are hitting this. This is the southern province we had sent a bunch of cripples into. Wait, I feel like we've already done this turn. I feel like we have already done this. 1 second. No, I don't think so. Okay. We're just wigging out. Yeah. Atlantis attacks me with his mercs before they expire, right here. These mercs actually aren't going to be super helpful in a cap defense. They're actually just going to help contribute to an HP route. So he's smart to try to use them or try to get rid of them. Yeah. This is a good use of mercs here. I think for him, he's probably going to move up this way. And maybe go on top of this fort. So we're going to put some archers here with some cav that are going to flank and kill. And we bump PD up to 20. And I've got the PD in front so that they're probably going to take most of the losses. And yeah, that should deal with this pretty handily if they attack here. If they attack here, we'll be set. We're actually patrolling here. So this is the... Wait, did we really watch this in enough detail? I thought I was like freaking out because... Okay, so these guys are all afflicted in this squad up here. And they actually killed... These two heavy cav actually killed a few Bakemono before they got cut to pieces. And these guys are actually getting torn apart. And then they run. But there we go. Got rid of some afflictions in our army. And otherwise took this. Probably not great, to be honest. Like, I don't know. Yeah, we probably could have taken fewer losses. And it's not like the guys with afflictions weren't of use. You know, a lot of them probably had afflictions, which didn't matter a ton. Okay. Actually, I have this wrong. Part of everybody here is afflicted just about. I don't think these Bakemono are, but all of these guys are afflicted. And all of these guys are afflicted. The difference is, for these two dudes, they're about to die anyway. These guys are like 2 hit points left. And they just want their Viking funeral. So they're going to die in like 2 turns. So we've got them at the front. So saving these guys is of no importance. But the Bakemono, you know, it would be nice to save maybe a few more of those. Anyway, we've taken it. We'll start preaching here. It's honestly not a great use of this guy's turn. But yeah, we'll patrol out the unrest and start getting our income. And... yeah, I mean, Atlantis is patrolling here. We did our little curse trap where we went at... The nice thing about going ahead and getting curse out of the way is it's going to use up fatigue on this guy. So if I actually want to use him in combat or something, then I don't have to worry about that. So there goes Spirit Curse. And as it does, it's cursed him, which it's not a huge deal. But it could be, I mean, it's not likely to be, but it could be the difference between me winning and losing a fight where he's trying to super combatant. You know, because he could get chest wound or something, and then fatigue out, and then, you know, something like that. Or he could get, I mean, honestly, for a fight, that and Never Healing Wound are probably going to be some of the worst ones for him in that particular fight. Over the long term, other stuff like Mute or Feeble-Minded would be a bigger deal. But I don't think we're going to care about that at all. Because he's going to be dead and we're going to take his cap if things go approximately right. And he's just patrolling every turn. And that's kind of why I keep pinging him. I want to see if he's not, because then I might throw a dude in. And yeah, we're choosing to patrol here. We've got a ton of troops that are coming up. We've got another 100 over here that are going to make their way up here. The dudes that were here are going to head up this way. Got a squad of my capital that's going to roll out over here, another 30 dudes. And one thing I've done that I didn't really want to do, I didn't have a commander over here, but this is last call, just based on, I've mathed everything out to figure out when I'm going to have enchantment 4. And based on that math, it is last call for people from this fort to get over here to fight here. And because of that, we're going to go ahead and take these guys and we're going to go ahead and move them with the troops on them so that they're not actually going to probably be the commanders that walk them over this way, but we need to get these troops to this fort. The other thing is we are going to need, I was looking at, I tested this battle actually a fair amount, and I know that's beginning to be like a common thing, but which is kind of not fun, but it's kind of fun actually too, because I haven't fought Atlantis. I mean, I've fought them a few times, like 4 or 5 times, but normally I'm not fighting them with something like what Bogarus has, and it feels a little bit more held together by duct tape, because these guys are like giga chads. Like, what they will do to my, like, in cold, they're giga chads. And what will happen in the test battles is with even with like 300 archers, like 100 crossbow and 200 archers, they will tear apart the PD, which is going to come in at this big blob, and they'll eventually rout them. But by that time, these guys we probably has on attack rear are going to start hitting my flanks, or, you know, maybe they're going to be hitting my heavy cav, and the heavy cav's pretty good at tying these guys up, though we have some of the glaive dudes mixed in here too. But it's a little tricky. Like, even if I have my guys, like my cav up here at the front on hold and attack, they're gonna hold. These guys are actually really slow. And then some of these guys, not these dudes, some of these guys have javelins and stuff. So these guys are combat speed 9, but they have these harpoons. And these guys, okay, no, they're also combat speed 9. So they're going to be like right here by the time my guys start running in. And then my cav will run in, and then we'll have the combat here. And the archers are going to be back here. And with the number of archers, and they're going to be thick because there's 300 of them, right? So it's a big, deep box. A lot of them are going to miss and cause friendly fire. And these guys have as much protection as I do. No, they don't have shields like the Malia Druzina. Excuse me. They don't have shields like the Malia Druzina, but yeah, they will. They're going to take a bit of a pounding. Like the flaming arrows damage on them is kind of chip damage. Because of that, and because they're fighting like a far bit away from my... Excuse me, guys, I'm sorry. And because they're fighting a far bit away from my heavy cav, there's a bunch of friendly fire. And so I got looking at, like, how can I not literally lose all of my Malia Druzina in the fight? And there's some options. Like, that was when I decided basically we're going to need Strength of Giants, which isn't a problem because we're already researching, but it's going to mean more mage commitment. And the other thing is, I think it's worth looking at some interesting tactics. And the most interesting tactic to me is, what can I do to draw them farther forward before we make contact? And I think the best, and we're only going to use this formation on the actual turn we're attacking. But I think the best bet is having 2 rectangles like this, so it'll be a few stacked boxes of archers and crossbowmen. In the middle, we have a big box of Malia Druzina that's going to run forward after they get Strength of Giants on them and just crush whatever is right here. Now, the benefit of placing them back here on hold and attack rather than up here is the fight is going to occur about 9 tiles probably closer. So the fight will take place like right in front of my archers. And that's going to mean they don't miss as much, so they don't cause as much friendly fire. The issue with that is that this flanking squad that he has, if I do that with my Malia Druzina, will very likely make contact with the front of my archer boxes. They're going to run forward and hit, and so will the worm. So I think what's important when I'm doing this is I need other squads, and I think the best way to do it is just have random ass commanders with some dudes on guard commander, and have a few of them placed in front of the archer squads with Malia Druzina guarding them. And that should be enough that when these guys hit, they're not going to run into basically archers, which are going to be super soft. They're going to hit, maybe it's 15 Malia Druzina in total, like 3 squads of people on guard commander here, 3 squads of people on guard commander here, and then these guys hit. That's, I think, going to be the best way to do it. With Strength of Giants is in about anywhere I can put it. The other thing, Worm still doesn't have any gear. That's nice. So that's basically the plan. Das ist die Plan. And we got some very good events this turn. That's the other thing that must be covered. We got here in Glannis, we got plus 10 to income. Sweet. We got also in Glannis plus 345 gold. Half a fort, thank you very much. And in Kimry, we got a gold nugget of legendary size. 1,000 gold. So all in all, about 1,370. Well, I guess if you count this, 80. Except this is going to be turn over turn. So all in all, pretty darn tootin' good. With that extra money, we've gone ahead and splurged on like building some temples. We went low dominion, right? I think we only have a dom strength of 2. That's why any place we haven't been preaching, you won't see more than 2 candles. It means we're going to need to temple our forts. Even though, and this is a downside of going low dominion with Bogarus, the upside is that our dominion is going to spread out actually more quickly with it as low as 2, because it's going to fill up 2 very quickly and then percolate to the next province. The downside, and so that's going to spread our very good scales out quickly. So that's actually a pretty significant upside. The downside is we're going to start losing all the candle battles as enemy dominion pushes into our stuff. And Bogarus is totally a nation which you could more easily get away with, like, not making temples in most of your forts, because most of your mages are not sacred. And by the way, we could do that, and I don't know if we're going to temple every fort, but we probably will. Part of that is because I just kind of like having high dominion. Though we might, we may wait to do some of it, but I like having high dominion, and yeah, that's basically the main reason. I mean, you don't want to let a ton of enemy dominion get in your land. But as we temple up our forts too, it's also going to increase our dom strength, which, if the game goes well, we might get this up to 8 or 9 or 10 by the time the game ends. So anyway, that's that. And yeah, we've just got a bunch of logistics moving dudes out here. Let's go ahead and go to the next turn. Our current turn and here we go. We found a magic site. First of all, we haven't found one of these in a long time. We've got a battlefield, so that's our first death income, which actually is pretty important because it's it's going to mean we can start, more reliably doing dark knowledge and stuff. So that's going to be important. It's going to be important. The other thing is, if we look at research, we don't even need a fancy calculator now. It's pretty easy to just see. We are 2 turns away from having, we're not going to have it this turn, but we will have it next turn. I mean, we don't have it this coming turn, but we will have it coming the turn after, is what I meant to say. And because of that, it means that, okay, this turn, this army's here. Next turn, these armies are both here. Let's make sure we have enough supply. We do. Okay. Next turn, these armies are here. And we've got 1 more turn left to research flaming arrows. Next turn, these armies are here, and flaming arrows is done. That turn, I also need to have all the mages here. All the mages. I need 7 to 8 mages here to get strength of giants on our dudes, etc., etc. So that's pretty important. Actually, I think we're probably going to want another commander or 2 as well. And I might put get some more idiots here just to do guard commander. Can I get, no, there's no commander to get here. And nobody I get over here is going to be able to make it. If I get somebody here, we can potentially make it. Okay. We'll just do this. We'll get a mounted commander here too. And the nice thing about that, I think we're actually going to move this guy up here, our prophet. And the reason for this is moving him up here. Well, we'll talk about it. But basically, I'm going to need more Holy Threes here in case he attacks, because we're splitting our forces. So we pinged nothing here, nothing here. And we gained a Skull Mentor from events. And one of our occultists was shrunken in a lab incident. So he is now size 1. Okay, now there are some interesting developments. One is Arco attacked here. And this is Arco the Nation and the player. And so this is vulturing. I didn't want TNG to... I mean, I wanted TNG to get this, not Arco. The TNG sent me a screenshot because he had a scout here of what Arco has. And what's going to be important about this is basically if I attack this province, there's a chance Arco bumps me. Now, he can only bump me with what he had here because there's nothing in this province we can see. But what is here, basically, it's about 20 of his sacreds, which have, you know, that bless on them. That, I forget. It's a decent bit of resistances, and then I think, like, it's not larger. I can't remember all this stuff, but it's pretty okay, but it's more, like, late game oriented in that it's resistances and stuff, but they're pretty solid units. And then he's got about 20 archers in a line formation on each side. And so what we're going to do is we're going to hit this, but we're going to hit this with stuff that will do pretty well against him if he's got, basically if he's bringing what he had in that army. So we're bringing 4 eparchs. This will also be good if he sends in just like some if Atlantis sends in some Atlanteans or his god, but this will get wrecked if he sends in his army and his god. But yeah, we basically have these dudes which are going to be on insta attack rear, and their job is going to be to hit the archers, the crossbowmen, and they should insta route them basically. And then once the crossbowmen are routed, then they'll hopefully hit the commander. And then and these guys will be peppering the infantry, not doing a ton of damage, but doing some. And then once the commander's taken, we should be good. We've got these guys to make like fake fighting. They're going to get insta-deleted by his sacred heart companions or whatever. So I got to be a little careful with that. But hopefully this just keeps them off the archers, who will literally like vaporize upon contact with the enemy in melee. So anyway, that's basically the plan for this. We'll take this. This should deal with light forces coming from Atlantis or this force coming from Arco, which is important. We don't want to do something so low commitment. However, you know, if he wins the fight here, will it stop us from attacking his capital? I don't know. Probably not. We might have to wait one more turn. But I don't want Arco vulturing this for sure. The decent thing about Arco taking this is it's probably going to make TNG a bit more feisty to jump at the bit for attacking Arco. Which, I'm not sure. I mean, I might have a huge-ass army over here at Atlantis that I could just roll out to fight. The problem doing that is Arco's almost certainly going to have a pretty big tech advantage on me. And this is going to be a really hard fight. So I think we're just going to wait and hang tight and wait for Vettiheim. And once Vettiheim's ready, we'll just split this 3 ways if we can. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so I think that's about it, boys. I'll just show you some of the logistics. Like this guy, I wanted to have site search this turn. Grippa did this turn, by the way. I just changed a few things, mostly like where the mages are going. Because we need to have, some of the mages have to roll out. Like we're moving 3 mages from here. We're moving 1 mage from here. Because this is last call. Right, so if you're not leaving the fort here, there's last turn was last call on this fort. This turn is last call on this fort. And we've already had last call on the capital. So these guys are going to join up here. This is the last of the army troops coming into Atlantis. We're bringing 3 mages here, 1 mage here, so that's 4 mages. We've already got 1 mage here who's been blood hunting. He found a few blood slaves, which actually is very nice. Because that will mean we can do reinvigoration in our communions. And actually, that's all we're going to need. I'm actually going to search with him, I think, this turn. And we might blood hunt next turn. But I just need him to be able to do reinvigoration in the communion. And these guys, we're going to have... So we've got basically 4 that are going to be coming here this turn. 4. And this, we've got 1 here, so that's 5. And then next turn, we're going to have 3 of them here. And so next turn, when I've got everybody here, these guys are going to mobilize everybody here, going to get off their ass, and they're going to go march down here. It is at that point, and I'll probably sneak in the fire gem so that if he's coming, he won't see it until that turn. Will I sneak in the fire gems? Wait, where is this guy going? I'd kind of like to have another scout. Some of my scouts died. Okay, he can make it over here. Good. He will come in with fire gems all sneaky like. So if I get pinged here, they're not going to think I have flaming arrows. Anyway. That is basically what we're looking at, though. That is basically what we're looking at. I think that is it, guys. Yeah, we're only at 25 minutes. 26 minutes. I got our Skull Mentor deployed. Our research is at 230. It hasn't been going up by nearly as much as it should have because we're having to mobilize mages. Like, I think I had said something stupid, like it should go up by like 90 a turn. And it's gone up a lot, but it hasn't gone up by 90 a turn. And that's because we've ended up finding things for our mages to do as one does. But there is value in just committing yourself to like sitting down and researching rather than you got guys out sight searching, running around for our first war. We're getting, the other thing I'll just mention, we're getting more Peshti spearmen. The job of the Peshti is going to be just to sit in front of, basically just to sit in front of my archers and, on guard commander and not die. That's going to be their whole job. Other news, let's cover diplomacy. So, indeed, the elves, we saw them marching out. I didn't actually show you this, but I was following this army, like, of Hoburgs march across, and Maryland had told me they were going to attack the monkeys. So, they're attacking the monkeys. I asked the monkeys how the war was going this turn, and they said it was going pretty good for them. Like, I guess they killed some elves this turn. Though we'll see. Yeah, and I don't actually have a problem or anything with Midgard winning this war. Hopefully, they will join us in eating up Arco. If we get a 4v1 against Arco when we're all bigger than him, it would be cruelly unfair, but one way to ensure that we don't lose the game to him. I've also brought up the idea with Zan, who's playing Tianchi, that if he and I are allied, we might be, like, we've got a big border, we keep attacking mutual neighbors, we might be able to get way bigger than everybody else. Like, kind of pull ahead as a tied position 1 that's way bigger than everyone else. And there's some merit to that, especially for him. Because for him, people are probably, if we're the same size, they're going to be a little bit more worried about me. But, like, if we attack Arco and then we attack Calum, so then you have to imagine our empire's like this. First of all, it would be pretty good war targets in terms of logistics. Like, it doesn't turn our empire into a giant spaghetti monster. So there's some nice things about it that way. But anyway, the nice thing about doing that is we could potentially get far enough ahead of everybody else. And we have big secure flanks, and people wouldn't really know who to coalition. We could be in business. You know, the problem is, of course, that's like nice in theory, but then somebody just has to pay him off to turn on me or pay me off to turn on him, or one of us gets coalitioned, and then there's only like they do it on one of us first, and then all their land has been split up by people, and now there's another group of people who are going to coalition the other person. So, I don't know. I don't think it's that simple, but it's an idea. And I don't know why I haven't really tried to do it before. But the idea of, instead of trying to get ahead of everybody as a single nation, trying to get ahead of everybody as two nations. Much harder to coalition if they have a border. But if you look at it, like right now, what are my chances of winning the game? They're probably, I don't know, 1 in 8. But if we make that work, then my chance might jump up to like, not quite 1 in 2, but maybe like, 2 in 5 or something like that. If we can both get really big and really ahead of everybody else, because it means it's basically either he or I is going to win. I don't think it will actually work that way. I think if that was something that should normally work, other people would have figured it out, and there would be way more like kind of deeper alliances in Dominions. I don't think there's any way there's like some hidden secret that like, hey, take one of your neighbors and do like a medium run kind of alliance where y'all smite people. You make sure one of you doesn't get much bigger than the other, but you both try to get significantly bigger than everybody else. And with your protected flank and with there being 2 people that are far ahead, it's going to be very difficult to coalition you. I shared this thought with him. He said, yeah, that might work. Maybe we should do it. So we might do it. But anyway, the problem, Arco in some ways is, I think, a little more straightforward to fight than like Calum for me, because dealing with like tons of air elementals is going to be really annoying. But there's going to be a lot more Jedi shit if we're fighting Arco. And he probably will be able to attract a backstabber to us, depending on how many troops. I mean, like if I have enough troops on my border so I don't look like an easy target on my other border by the time our next war starts, I'll be in a bit better shape. But what are the other happenings of the world? Because I've been talking with a lot of people in the game. Joman and Raga have been fighting, but that doesn't seem to be terribly decisive, though Raga does have a very nice border. Ulm, I forget exactly where Ulm is. Ulm is about to get knifed by Vettiheim. Apparently they really... What was it, Ulm? Yeah, I think they actually kind of failed expansion or something. They were pretty small. They, I think they were like basically almost just their cap circle. Or no, it was Falegra. Yeah, it was Falegra that was like basically not much bigger than their cap circle. And I think Vettiheim is going to go eat them. Which on one hand, great. It means nobody has to worry about Lace Dragoni and Tyrants later. On the other hand, Vettiheim is right up there with... That team is very scary on a very scary nation. And they know all the tricks that I had taught them from playing Vettiheim. So not very excited to see Vettiheim become big. But... they're in another nation in a far-off land. Not going to have any borders with them anytime soon, I don't think. The other thing, too, is if I can get some water. One of the things that Vettiheim gets rocked by, actually, is by casting Murdering Winter on them. It will just tear them apart. Because they have some cold resistance, but not enough to protect from Murdering Winter in Cold 3. Anyway... enough ramblings and musings. Thank you all for watching. I will see you next time.